Now let's go ahead and take a look at some examples for the Muathe angle of penetration. We're going to take a look at I guess it is, let me confirm this. Okay, I'll bring it back. All right, we're going to take a look at IVIN, which was the top performing stock in 2003. Now what you'll notice is that the stock had a nice move from breaking out from just above $1, and in 1, 2, and 3 months moved from $1 to $7.50. Now that's a big gain, guys. I mean, no kidding. Try and fix something here so we can use this. All right, got it. All right, now so notice the angle of penetration prior to this breakout right here. You look at this steep angle of penetration. I mean, by the time the stock does this warm up for the Muathe breakout and comes back, you already see evidence of steep moves right there. Evidence, steep move right here. Again, a steep move right there, another steep move right there. So you know, and even given recent action, that the stock, should it penetrate above this with this kind of angle, this is going to be a big mover. Now notice what happens when it warms up and comes and does a Muathe breakout with this steep breakout right there, penetrating the 68 level with a steep angle of penetration. And notice, and I'm going to be talking about this, which is what I call the fast mountain. Whenever you buy a stock and it's making its fast oversold move and staying in this level kind of action, you want to hold on for a while. And the way you get out is you draw lines below these lows here, right there. And so the moment this is broken on the downside, this line, then you know it's time to get out. But you want to stay within this big oversold area. Don't sell until you see a significant break in that trend. So you're going to have to be patient. In this example, you could have been holding the stock, anywhere from $1 to the 750 area. That was a huge gain. So again, it's the angle of penetration that keys us in on the potential of the stock. Now let me go and look at okay. Now let's take a look at the number 2 performing stock in 2001, Nvidia. And then again, you see, even when it was a baby, the angle of penetration was very steep, like that big move, another big warm up right there, and then the eventual break. And you can even notice when it moves above 68, around there was a small move. I mean, probably took it from around $1.80 to around 240. So with even that penetration, even though it was a warm up for the Muathe breakout here, we knew that the stock still moves. Now we come back again, we warm up there. We've already seen evidence of steep penetration, and now we come and penetrate. And this was always gonna be a big move, because we have a couple of things going on. We have a steep penetration above 68 on the RSI, and the RSI is making a new high. So a lot of things are going on for this stock. No wonder it was such a big gain at the time, moving the stock from $2 during this breakout. And then again, we had a subsequent breakout, clean breakout, another move here, a nice steep move above 68, another steep move above 68, another steep move. It actually just dipped below 68 and immediately moved above it right here on a steep angle. So every time that happens, the stock would rally very strong. Like this steep move, penetration, angle of penetration, is what took the stock from around $5.50 all the way to $12. So do not underestimate the power of the penetration. Now notice over here we don't have a steep penetration. All right, I mean, that's a fact. It was kind of a lower angle of penetration as it moves above 68, and see we didn't have any marginal move in the stock. There was not a big move. And another thing I might want to point out while we are doing this, hold on a second, is notice the divergence. Like the stock tries to break out, but we get this divergence while the stock was trying to go higher. This is usually a red flag, so avoid stocks that cannot even move out of this divergence. That might stop you from buying many fake breakouts just by using the divergence. But anyway, so even in this example, we see that we could have had an opportunity to trade Nvidia in late 99 or early 2000 for huge gain as the market was climaxing to all-time highs on the nasdaq. Now let's see, I don't know what I have next for you guys. Okay, this is NetEase. This is the best performing stock of 2002. Okay, we see again stock broke out from around the 3-cent area, rallied all the way to about just under 90 cents, probably threefold move, and then had another breakout above. It settled down for a couple of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, around 8 or 9 weeks, and broke out. Nice clean breakout. So let's go back and see what made this stock a great mover in 2002. Not forgetting it had a good move also in 2003 as the internet stocks came back. Now I remember we were trading this one way in 2002. From August of that year, then Sohun, Sina, RedF, IGLD. If you remember those names, then you've been in this game for a minute, haven't you, right? But at any rate, let's look at the angle of penetration. Yeah. All right, so steep angle of penetration evidence right there. Steep angle of penetration right there. Now notice what happens right here. The angle of penetration was steep, but not as steep, but it was sufficient enough as it moves above 68. But that explains why initially there was this slow gaining momentum, because the angle was not very steep. And again, you always want to hold on to a stock when it's making its first RSI mountain, because there's some big gains there. It's a stock showing exercising its highest strength ever, and you only want to sell when you can find a way to draw a line that tells you when to stay as long as possible, and when that's broken, like in this trend right here. I wish I could draw a straight line, but my tool won't let me. But anyway, you want to take those lows, see whether you can stay in the stock as long as possible so you can own the stock during this fast RSI mountain. There's a lot of money to be made at that point. And then so now we have a subsequent breakout that I'm talking about, and this one was very steep. You can see because of the arrow, but I'll show you on the next chart. Very steep penetration right there, and that led to a nice move. Let's see whether I have the chart ready for you. Yeah, perfect. So now here we are again. Now this is a breakout right here. Look at this penetration. It was very steep right there. That took the stock from the 90 cents area, and in a couple of months the stock was trading as high as 450. That's a big move. All right, so watch the angle of penetration. It's telling you have a potential winner at hand. Next one. Now I want to go back and look at and explain to you why some of the big cap stocks never really move that much. And again, you can really explain that with the angle of penetration. This is Pfizer. Hasn't had a good couple of years, but I just picked the name and just pull up a chart. But you notice even when it tried to break out here in mid 06, this is a weekly chart. Notice the angle of penetrations as it moves above 68 was not steep. Low angle of penetration was telling you didn't have a winner. Now, despite this showing potential here, at the very moment of penetration above 68, there was low angle of penetration. That tells you you have a weak stock. And notice something else also. Let me draw my line right here. Notice stock did try to break out again in mid 07, but we got this divergence. Okay, and we were trying to break out here. So that key told you that the stock was not really strong, and eventually it did drop. I mean, moving from, it's not a big drop, but it lost value anyway. Let me just put it that way. So avoid stocks that are breaking out with negative RSI divergence. Next up, let's look at Walmart. Right now, Walmart is moving the retail sector higher, but notice the angle of penetration is very low. I mean, I wouldn't waste my time on this one. Very low angle of penetration. Even if it gains, it's going to be very slow gain. All right. Now, stock has broken out. It's a kind of clean breakout, moving it from 51 to 58 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In 6 weeks, stocks have moved $7, and that's the most it's moved in a long time. Yikes! That's boring action. Now, I take a look at BZP, a recent mover for us. I think we were playing the stock around this breakout here, or this one. I think it's this breakout, can't remember, or I don't know that it was this one, but we've been playing this for a while. Now, notice the difference with the Walmart chart. Look at the angles of penetration here, and notice at this penetration it was I would say it was iffy, not very steep, but that explains why the initial move here was not very strong. The stock didn't really move much. Now notice the moment the angle of penetration here was steep, stock moves quickly. You can see the increased pace, moves from 12 to 23 in a short period of time because the angle of penetration was very strong. And then even this breakout here, move to new highs, was really based on a low angle of penetration, and the stock did not move marginally. Actually, it did eventually roll over. So watch the angle of penetration. Now let's look at Wall Street's darling stock, Apple. Now, Apple has a history of nice, decent penetration. No wonder it's been a great stock. Every time it moves above 68, it's kind of decent for a large cap stock. A nice penetration. Again, it corrects itself. A nice angle of penetration. Nice angle of penetration here and here. So it always has it has a technique of breaking out to a science. So every time it gets to 68, it has a nice steep penetration, and you can notice, like, if you look, the best the highest penetration was here as it moved above 68, and that coincides with the biggest move on this chart, taking it from just around 95 all the way to 200, or even from 95 all the way to 150 in a couple of weeks. So the angle of penetration was also very telling. Now let's go back and look at Apple again in 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006. Now notice this angle of penetration here. Before Apple became what it is as a high momentum large cap play, steep angle of penetration, steep angle of penetration, steep angle of penetration, steep. And then we have a nice warm-up run here, steep angle penetration there, and here you see it was not as steep, which explains this initial slow move, but eventually picks up pace, and this was the first RSI mountain for the stock. And you always want to walk on them whenever you start seeing this first mountain after many years of not being in the oversold area. You want to on them as long as you can, hold on, because it's a big move. Stock moves from around, breaks out to new highs around $18 and moves to 45 in under 9 months. That's a big move. So you want to hold on, and you want to draw this line, try and find the lows for the stock as much as you can and hold on. And you could have just of course I'm using hindsight here, but then again, in reality you can also do this. It's harder in reality, in real time, but it does pay to know that there is you benefit by holding on when the first oversold move and this first mountain is formed. That would have this was breached right here, coincides with this break. Actually, before the stop drops, that break was already evident. So right here you get out around 40, in the 40s, for a good gain. And so even if you missed the subsequent move in Apple, you still had another opportunity to buy this next breakout. The angle of penetration was good. So again, stock will give you multiple entry points if it's a good stock. I hope I'm not forgetting anything on this Muathe angle of penetration. Good luck to you. Just every time you look at a stock, daily, weekly, whatever time frame, monthly, try and see what the angle of penetration is, because that telling on what kind of a quality stock you are owning. This is Eric Muathe with Muathe.com. Peace and blessings to you.